Rev up your engines! So it's time for the road trip to Rhode Island. Goodbye to the dogs in Tennessee. And the pigs, but they're hiding. It's too early for them. They're banker pigs. Oh, here comes one of the pigs. He decided to get up and have some grass. The piggy! Sun's coming up and we're on our way. All right, we're keeping track. The first dead animal is a dead raccoon. Well, we're in Kentucky now, and I can smell them smoking the tobacco in the tobacco barns, drying them out. Kind of a sweet smell. There's one of the tobacco barns there, smoking away. All right, just saw a dead armadillo. Now, it's raccoon 1, armadillo 1, but I don't forecast the armadillos to win because there aren't too many armadillos outside of Kentucky. That's about as far north as you normally see armadillos, unless they're migrating, I don't know. Well, just saw the first dead deer, so it's dead deer 1, raccoon 1, and armadillo 1. The race is on. There we go, down the hill to Cincinnati, over the Ohio River, headed into Cincinnati. If you look in the far distance, you can see the last bridge that John Roebling built before he built the Brooklyn Bridge. Check it out, we're going through Ohio, and they're too cheap to fix the whole road, so they're only doing the middle so they can paint the new dotted line on it. They didn't bother fixing the rest of the road. We're in the hotel in Columbus, Ohio, and we found a lowrider toilet. This is the lowest toilet. You're practically on the ground. Even my wife, who's 5 feet tall, thinks it is the shortest toilet she's ever seen. It's a dark morning in Columbus. Day 2, we're off. And the sun starts to rise over a gray Cleveland. And it's off to the Waffle House for breakfast. And here's an interesting one. The clouds in the sky here look just like the mountains in Utah when the rain eroded them over thousands of years, only they're in the sky instead of on the ground. Interesting. Wind erosion or rain erosion, I guess it's the same whether it's on the ground or it's up in the air in the clouds. Fresh asphalt, no one's driven on it yet. And here comes Lake Erie, the shallowest of the Great Lakes. Well, here's something you don't see every day. I just passed a flock of vultures circling around a New York State trooper car with his radar gun out. You can't make this stuff up. There are some abandoned silos from the old industrial age, and up ahead is downtown Buffalo. There's downtown Buffalo, what's left of it. I was all set to have a Niagara Falls classic. Roast beef on Kimmelweck with horseradish. It's phenomenal. But they're closed for some reason. But as they say, good things come out of bad things, so. Like Indian cuisine. And I have to say, I'm shocked I had one of the best Indian buffets in my life. I'm not really a fan of buffets. Here's something you don't see often, an old abandoned bridge across Niagara Falls. There's the really old arch from the original bridge, and then there's an old iron train bridge that they don't use anymore. Literally a bridge to nowhere. Who knows what's inside? Let's just say they don't build them like they used to. Maybe an old bridge they don't use anymore, but man, it's still standing strong. And here we have a nice sunrise over Niagara Falls on the way back, though the other side is dark and foreboding. Everywhere you go, you see cones. Well, here's one for you. There's cones in the back of this truck driving down the road. Mobile cones. And now have their own transportation. Here we have the marvelous falling apart New York State Thruway rattling all over the place. And here I am back home in Rhode Island, ready to help everyone out on the East Coast. As you can see, there's packages all over the place. People have been sending me stuff. Check this out. Guy gave me this great classic Triumph ad. I'll have to stick it up there on the other side. Well, no time like the present. Long screws for a little sign. Voila! Time to put the deck chairs back. This is these Chinese made one. They're really nice. They're plastic, so the paint will never come off and they won't rot. They're just as comfortable as the wooden ones, and they cost about 1/4 as much, and they'll last forever. I'm assuming some of these screws will probably rust and eventually need replacing, but what the heck, they don't cost much. They don't rot like wood. As usual, I just went to Amazon, found the best price I could on them. Now, what did I learn during the trip? Well, 8 dead deer. Now, mind you, one of them was in the back of a pickup truck going down the road. I don't know if that counts. But also, 5 dead raccoons, 2 dead skunks, 1 dead fox, and 1 dead armadillo that was in Kentucky. There aren't any around here. So, contrast to that, I saw 3 Teslas and 1 rare bird, a Volkswagen ID.4 electric car. So still, you're almost 3 times as likely to see a dead deer on the road than you are seeing a Tesla going down the main highway. And speaking of electric cars, I had to watch the ads in the hotel. And they had an Audi ad. I couldn't help but laugh. It says, "We have the Audi for your lifestyle." So I look it up. The thing started $80,000. So I guess you're extremely rich. That's for your lifestyle, the electric Audi. But, you know, for everybody else, well, too bad. Your lifestyle doesn't have enough money involved in it to buy one of their Audis. I just had to laugh at that, you know. Chevy's got the electric car ads that I saw that said, "We want to make cars for everyone." Now they claim they're going to make them lower price. We'll see what happens when they actually come out and if they actually work, because GM has a history of electronic failures anyways. But the Audi's saying, "We have the Audi for your lifestyle." Of course, that's only inclusive of people who make an awful lot of money. So stay tuned. I'll be checking out all the stuff that came in these boxes, doing tool tests, telling you about it. And since I'm in Rhode Island, any of you guys on the East Coast want to take a trip to Rhode Island and visit me? Hey, I can look at your car, check it out. You have some interesting problem no one can figure out, or you just want to have something good or bad to say about a car you bought. Hey, I love the horror stories because the better horror stories save everyone else from getting involved in a horror story. As the saying goes, learn from others' mistakes. That's another reason I'm here. If I can see real serious mistakes that were made, I can steer people around them. You got a big mistake that you got involved in, rather than swearing at the company that sold you the thing, why not share it with me and I can share it with the world, and you can at least get even with people who sold you a pile of crap car that really is driving you nuts. At least you get a little bit of revenge on the evil swine who built it in the first place and then decided, well, it's not covered under the warranty now, that's going to cost you $5,000. Like the guy in Canada who had a Tesla with 77,000 miles. He said he needed a $21,000 battery and they were going to cover it under warranty. So, you're around Rhode Island? Hey, feel free to set up a time to meet me. I love helping people out, and I like looking at interesting cars too. You might have a real interesting one. Had some interesting ones last time. Had that 2-wheel drive off-road motorcycle. That was kind of interesting. So you got something cool, get all to me. In person, I'm not at all scary, and with this beautiful garage, it doesn't matter, rain or shine. Don't worry that people call me up and say, "Scotty, I don't know if you can look at my car. It's raining outside." It's not raining in here, and I'm up on a hill. The water all goes to the ocean over there. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Hey, Ron, so Scotty, high school student from Australia. What do you recommend as the first good manual car for around $10,000 US dollars? Yeah, I know your money's worthless, right, in Australia? If you can find a Toyota or a Honda of any sort with a manual, buy it. Those things can run forever. And the little Civics with the standard and the Corollas with standards are zippy enough vehicles. If you can find one. The market here, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but here the used car market's gone bonkers. Things used to go for $2,000 are going for $8,000. If you can find a Toyota or a Honda standard, those things can run forever. Well, I'm laughing my rear end off. I read an article and people said, the small Swedish car maker, why all the other people are looking at them because, oh, they're so great. And you know what they're talking about? Koenigsegg. All right, to begin with, the cars start at $3 million a piece. And on average, they only produce 35 of them a year. Okay, so yeah, they have interesting technology. But it's super expensive technology that goes into cars. They only make 35 of them a year. So it's not exactly what you could call, this is suitable for mass production for the masses. One, they couldn't build them fast enough. And two, they cost so much money, people couldn't afford them. Now, I'm sick of these people saying, oh, look at this brilliant company. Yeah, technologically, it's phenomenal. They have engines that don't have any valves in them. Everything is done electronically and pneumatically. I mean, it's phenomenal technology. But how many of us can afford $3 million for a car? And since they only make 35 a year, you'd be on a long waiting list if there were thousands or millions of people who want to buy these things. That's the one thing I do have to say about the auto industry. They get carried away with technology. They always have. And they keep saying, this is great, this is great. If it costs too much money, and they can't make it mass production, it is not great. That's just a fact. It's not feasible for mass production that isn't extremely expensive, that the masses can afford. Yeah, they're super fast machines, right? And the technology in them is so expensive, it's not going to be in the cars we drive down the road anytime soon, if ever. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.